top story in this edition is coming in from Jamaica. The eye of Hurricane Melissa has moved away from Jamaica and is now heading towards Cuba, which is according to US weather officials. In its latest advisory, the National Hurricane Center has reported that the center of Melissa had emerged from the northern coast of western Jamaica, warning of damaging winds and what it described as catastrophic flash flooding. The storm, which was earlier downgraded to a powerful Category 4 hurricane, is now on a path towards the eastern Cuban provinces of Granma and Santiago de Cuba and Guantanamo as well, with Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel having addressed the nation on the state television, urging citizens to remain in shelters and to prepare for severe conditions as Hurricane Melissa approaches. Wearing full military attire, a symbol reserved for national emergencies, the president warned that Melissa could become the strongest hurricane ever to strike the island.
It is a hurricane of great magnitude. It is classified as Category 5. It is considered right now by its characteristics as one of the most severe hurricanes, or perhaps the strongest, that has passed through the national territory. There will be much work to do. We know that there will be a lot of damage caused by this hurricane because of its characteristics, but we have all the capacity to recover.
In southeast Cuba, residents have moved inland under heavy rain, carrying essential belongings and seeking safety before the storm's arrival. Many were seen walking along flooded roads or even boarding crowded buses and trucks as authorities oversaw mass evacuation from coastal areas. Hurricane Melissa is expected to reach Cuba in early hours of Wednesday. Across Jamaica, the storm had already left a trail of destruction with sustained winds near 185 miles or 300 kilometers an hour. It tore down trees, toppled power lines and even inundated large parts of the island nation. Melissa was the most powerful hurricane ever recorded in Jamaica, surpassing even some of the strongest storms in recent decades, including Katrina in 2005. Once past Cuba, the system is projected to move on towards the Bahamas. The United Nations has announced plans to airlift 2,000 relief kits to Jamaica from a regional supply hub, and this once air operations resume. Humanitarian assistance is also being prepared for Cuba and Haiti as the region braces for continuing impact of Hurricane Melissa. And joining us on the broadcast is Peter Kalmus. He is climate scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Kalmus, on the broadcast. Cyclone Melissa is the strongest cyclone to hit the island in 174 years. First up, if you can give us a sense of the extent of damage the storm has wrought.
Well, it's too early to know how much damage that the storm is going to cause, but it's an extremely powerful storm. As you said, winds approaching 300 kilometers per hour. This could end up being one of the top 2 most intense hurricanes in the Atlantic basin since records began, the strongest to make landfall. And I want to make it very clear that this is definitely a signal from global heating. And the media doesn't do a good enough job, I think, making it clear that global heating is caused primarily by burning fossil fuels, and that all of these impacts, including impacts that you've seen in India, such as worsening monsoon floodings, incredibly intense heat waves, crop failures and agricultural losses, all of these impacts, including this hurricane, will get worse so long as humanity continues to burn fossil fuels. And I know that's not welcome news, but those are just the facts. The physics is actually not that complicated. I also want to make it clear that fossil fuel industries have been trying to hide this from the public for about 50 years, and they've been trying to block actions in multiple nations to stop climate change. So that's where we're at. We can expect the intensifying heat in the ocean. So the oceans trap a lot of the extra heat from fossil fuels, from carbon dioxide from fossil fuels, blocking out going infrared radiation. A lot of that extra heat ends up in the oceans, and those hot oceans are what cause these kinds of storms. So this is not a done deal. We're still rising, getting a hotter planet, which is going to make stronger storms. So I'm, as a climate scientist, I'm very worried about this.
Yes. Mr. Kalmus rightly put that global warming is one of the factors that has contributed to Cyclone Melissa's rapid intensification, which is, of course, a wake-up call for the globe. But evacuations have been taking place at breakneck speed, of course. What are the immediate challenges, in your view, for the authorities and the risks that people should be most concerned about at this point?
Well, hurricanes are basically really strong winds, and those really strong winds cause flooding from ocean surges and also from intense rainfall. So I think over Jamaica, rainfall was approaching 40 inches. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is in centimeters. I should have done the conversion. But it's more than a meter of rainfall, which is just insane. So you can have flash floods, you can have buildings being washed away, buildings collapsing on people, trees falling and blocking roads, as shown in that image right there, trees falling directly on people. Then of course you're going to have massive power outages, which is going to make communications more difficult and rescue attempts far more difficult.
Yes. Mr. Kalmus, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. We'll try and connect with you later in the day as the situation progresses. For now, it's definitely a point of concern, both in Cuba and Jamaica.
Thank you.